Wow. This might have been the worst television I've seen in a long time. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be sad, if I'm supposed to cry, if I'm supposed to laugh, or if I'm supposed to be embarrassed. Well, during the last 15 minutes of episode 10, I definitely felt all three of those emotions. And I'm kind of speechless. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, part 2 of season 6 of Cobra Kai just released. And it's so bad. I just watched it. It's so bad. The writing is so terrible. At this point, I'm somewhat convinced that writing in Hollywood is just a money laundering scheme. I can't believe the same writers who wrote the earlier seasons wrote this season as well. The same people who wrote the Johnny and Robbie story arc from season 1 to season 4. I don't know how this is possible. Everything in this season is so forced. There is no foundation to anything. The drama is so forced. There's no conflict that's worthwhile. For example, in one of the earlier episodes, Johnny is at the buffet at the hotel where they are staying, and he meets another sensei. And the sensei grabs the last 2 pieces of steak, and Johnny is now pissed at him. And that's the foundation for their conflict. And at the end, they are fighting against one another in episode 10. And the show is like, yeah, you're supposed to care about this fight. And I'm thinking, no, I don't care about this fight. I couldn't give less of a shit about this fight and about this guy, about this conflict. And that's the level the writing is at. In the same scene, Chosen gets into the room at the hotel and he's drunk and he makes a scene out of nowhere. You don't know why. And he embarrasses Miyagi-Do and it's so cringe. And later on, after a fight, Miyagi-Do just had a big win and Johnny gets a call. Oh no, Carmen is dying. You need to get home. And out of nowhere, there's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, and by the way, of course, Silva is back because what else? Just throw everyone in there. What else would he do? And don't get me started on the fighting. I don't think the season had one normal fight. And remember, this is the season in which we have this big international tournament, and every competition is has some absurd rules. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not going to pretend to be any karate expert. I'm just watching a coming of age sports drama which involves karate, and I used to love it from season 1 to season 4. Season 5 was okay as well, but season 6 is absolute garbage. Cobra Kai is dead. It died with this season. It ended at the end of season 5. And if you haven't watched it further, you shouldn't. Unless you watch it with a few friends and you want to laugh at something, because that's the only thing this season is good for. So I was talking about the fighting. Instead of having a normal fight, they fight on a platform 5 meters in the air, and they have to kick the competition off the platform, and they're fighting in a 2v2. And when someone is kicked down, another teammate, they have teams of 6 in total, gets onto the platform. I don't know how. Is there a ladder? Somehow they get on the platform and continue the fight. What happens if both people are kicked off at the same time? Are they just waiting for the last person to get on the platform and kick him down immediately? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And there are 3, 4, 5 of those weird competitions that don't make any sense in the slightest. And I think it's very telling that the writers weren't confident in their writing ability, in their ability to create some drama so that a normal fight would be enough. And instead they want to make some grand fighting scene that's super special and that we haven't seen before. No, that's not what we need. We want a normal fight scene with real stakes, with conflicts between the characters who are fighting against one another. But that's not what's going on. It's so absurd, and it takes me completely out of the show. And speaking of some of the characters, it feels like everyone has forgotten that they have relationships, that they have boyfriends and girlfriends. Dimitri at one point gets approached by a girl and even says, I don't care that I have a girlfriend at home. I'm on vacation. And he starts dancing with her. And later on, he is pissed because his girlfriend gets wind of that. And, well, she's not happy either. And when it comes to Sam and Miguel, there are maybe 5 scenes where you get a sense that they're together. Otherwise, you wouldn't even notice. And I don't know, it's all so weird. It's so weird. Oh, and one of the antagonists, this, I don't know, Chinese, Japanese, Korean guy. I think he's Korean. I think he had a Korean flag on his jacket. This guy is the cringiest edgelord I've seen in a long time. I said that earlier, but this guy is so weird and he talks so weird. He has super long and dramatic pauses between every sentence and every word, and he leans always forward when he's talking, and it's just super weird. Every normal person would tell him, dude, what is going on with you? Talk like a normal human being. You're not in some crazy fantasy world where you can get away with stuff like that. This show is playing in our world. You're supposed to be somewhat normal. And yeah, this show fails at being normal at every level. Also, I hated it ever since they did it first time in season 3, that no one gives a flying fuck about consequences, that everyone breaks laws and rules and whatnot constantly, and no one calls the police. In this season, Daniel gets kidnapped and he doesn't go to the police. He doesn't even think about it. He just goes to Greece and wants to solve it himself instead of just, hello, police, I got kidnapped, please do something. But no. I just hate that it became common for the villains in Cobra Kai to commit serious crimes like trying to murder people, doing serious property damage and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't the case earlier on, and I think there was a much better time. And speaking of trying to murder people, I almost forgot to mention the Asian guy trying to kill someone at the end of the 10th episode and falling into his own knife and killing himself. I couldn't stop laughing. That's so stupid. That's so silly. Why is this? Who thought this was a good idea? Compare that to season 2, the school fight, the fight between Miguel and Robbie, which has a natural escalation, and it's understandable because both have good motivations, which we can understand. And it results in the accident of Miguel when he is kicked off the 2nd floor. It's so much better and it makes sense because the writing was good, but now the writing is not good anymore. Oh, and another thing I don't understand, why is Dimitri still around? Not that I have anything against Dimitri, but he doesn't fit in the environment at all. He never was an elite fighter, and now he's in this competition, and it doesn't make sense. And his conflict with Hawk it's so forced, and they both have the maturity of a preschooler or something like that. Especially Dimitri, who is always angry with Hawk because he doesn't go to the same college. And I don't know what we're doing. This is just... it's just so bad. This is so sad. This is so sad. Cobra Kai was such a great show, and it turned out terrible. They should have stopped after season 5 or after season 4. But, well, it is what it is. Cobra Kai just died, and there's no way the third part can bring it back in any way. So, yeah, those are just my quick thoughts. Bye.